Hi everyone, it's Natalie here. Forgive me, you may hear dogs in the background, like that, because I'm dog sitting, which is also why I'm not in my usual spot. Sorry, I had to go attend to that before it got out of hand. So yeah, there could be some interruptions. This may happen frequently. I'm just going to do my best to have fun and get through this as best I can. It is first thing in the morning, and I accidentally broke the coffee maker, so I have a double strength hot tea going here. It seemed to work yesterday, so I'm hoping for the best here. Yeah, I saw the tarot tags coming up for Marlena Teresa, and decided I would go for it because this is a fun one. So this is my everyday carry bag, which is a cork bag. Sorry. And it is kind of a backpack. Maybe I should just do this. This is not my house, but you can at least see it better. I don't really want to be on camera right now because I just got up and it's a mess. But yeah, this is what we're looking at here. And probably I should leave it at this angle just so I can actually show you what's in here. It is me. Ooh, where am I? Hello. Looking like a total mess. But this was intended to be my like everyday handbag. And it actually Ari wants his brother to play. All right, so I can tell I better get through this. They've had breakfast and now they're feisty. So I had like a handbag that I wanted to use this as a handbag and have like a little carry bag that I brought with me that had just, room enough for phone, keys, and wallet. And I've ended up kind of just going that direction in general, and then realized that really what I'm needing this bag for is to, and I'll put the pretty side up so you can see that, is to, and I can put a link. I got this on the shop app. Don't buy this bag, by the way, on a normal website. You will pay 3 to 4 times what it is actually costs when you buy it directly from the makers, right, in Portugal. It's cork. Cork and vegan leather trim. So, although I do use leather, I am a vegetarian, but I do try to reduce the amount that I use. And I do like cork. I love what they can do with it. At any rate, yeah, so what's in here? I think I should show you everything in here because this bag has become an essential, an everyday carry essential at work and in life. And I'll tell you why in a little bit. First, I have in here some juniper Tibetan incense. So this was introduced to me a few years ago by Nancy, who is actually Sarah from Water Child Tarot's mom. And when we met, when I was doing a lot of Tibetan Mo reading, which I would really like to get back to. But I learned how to do a lasang because of Nancy, and it has become a lifesaver, not just for me, but for a lot of other people. It's been something I've been able to offer to a lot of people at this point. Way more than I would have expected. And yes, so suffice it to say, that I use it not just for a lasang, but also for just everyday cleansing around the office, right? Sometimes we get some pretty funky energy that comes in. We do a lot of energy work and healing work, and human beings, being what they are, bring that stuff in with them. So there we go. So I keep I keep some of this in my bag. I keep another roll of it in the office, and of course at home. So I always have it with me, so we'll put that over there. And then, let's see, what I normally carry. Here's my main use everyday carry deck. And a big surprise as to what it's going to be. Maybe it is, maybe, I don't know. It works well in this Hieronymus Bosch tarot bag, which came with the original Kickstarter. and I wrap it. I learned this trick when I first started reading. When you use a bag, a tarot bag, using a cloth of some kind to wrap the cards and kind of contain them a little bit better and then put them in the bag can be a lifesaver. And then you've also got your spread cloth, right? If you want to use a spread cloth. So this is also the Kickstarter Hieronymus Bosch cloth, spread cloth, but it is not the Hieronymus Bosch deck. It is in fact a deck that works well with this whole thing. It's the Serpent and Peacock. I don't know why this became an everyday use deck. It just did, or an everyday tarot deck. It just did, because it's just such a brilliant deck. I think that's really why. I love it for myself, and I really love it for other people. I doubt I will buy a backup copy given how expensive it is. You know, and given how I do love it. I love this deck. But it has, I don't necessarily need it for my everyday practice, because I seem to have other practices that I want to use decks for. You know, right now for every day, I'll show you what I'm using now. But for a carry deck, this is perfect. We've been needing it a lot at the office because we're looking at trying to make a lot of changes. And I'm sort of the go-to consultant in the office for, like, I need help figuring this out. Can, you know, while I'm in here working with this patient on a practice that you can't, you know, that I have no real involvement with anyway, could you do a reading about this and this and find out about this? And so I do a lot of that at work. Would you believe that? So this has become the go-to for that because it's so straightforward. It's really honest, very immediate, very fair. It cuts right to the core of things too. So you get both the spiritual and the mundane all in one deck, which I like. I think good decks do that, right? There's a lot of very highfalutin spiritual decks, and every time I think that's the case, I then reread with it about something mundane and find that it's equally as good at reading the mundane. So it's probably just a Natalie problem, right? I'm taking a sip of tea. So yeah. So it's, I only have one Fool in there, but I have several other of the other ones. I also appreciate, again, I've said this a few times, but the way that the medievalists externalize demons, right? That kind of gives you a sense of perspective, like, okay, this is probably me projecting onto this situation or us projecting onto this situation because of my demon practice or my feeding your demons practice. I pay a little bit more attention to those moments, you know? Yeah. And I will say this too. So this was the deck I pulled for the Drop 'em 78 as the calibration deck for reading with a TDM. And that actually turned out to be a really wonderful pairing. It taught me so many helpful things. And it made me love the deck that much more and appreciated that, both of them actually, that much more. But something that I really started to appreciate about working with different techniques that Esther has put out there is like the deck dialogue, right? When I'm really trying to mull something over and figure it out, this deck is so good for that. It's so good because it will just give, again, it gives such direct, honest answers. So if you've ever seen her do like a deck dialogue where, you know, she'll ask a particular question and start there and say she'll get the 8 of Swords and say, so are you saying that what I really am doing is dragging, you know, that even though I feel like something is dragging me back into hell as Persephone, that maybe what I'm actually doing is dragging myself back into hell, you know? And then you shuffle and draw. And if it, you know, it's amazing. It's a wonderful technique. So there are moments where that has come in extremely handy, especially for reading for things for the office, for, you know, issues, troubles, problems, etc. Shuffles like a dream. You'll never see me get tired of shuffling this deck for you because it's just so dang good. It is, despite being like a rose petal finish, it is a very overhand friendly deck. It slides really nicely. you know, there's no real clumping or issues. So just throwing that out there. And I don't really ever have problems with those decks, particularly unless they're super, super thick. But normally it's just a matter of getting them worn in gently, but through use and through playing and so on. So I am going to go ahead and just kind of semi-wrap this up so you can see what I do to kind of wrap these decks. I do it pretty much the same way I use my tarot wraps that I make, which I don't think I have any of here at the moment. But yeah, doing the wrap and tuck in the bag it's just a great storage method. I'm especially fond of silk, you know, using silk for that purpose, but this really contains the cards and keeps them secure and comfortable in there. Okay, so that's one. What else do we have? Oh, I have the guidebook too, because when I'm trying hard to be objective, sometimes I really need the guidebook. This is a bigger guidebook than a lot of other decks, but I still carry it because it's worth doing. I wish I had something to protect it a little bit better, but again, it's a guidebook and I'm not likely to move that deck on. It's one I can't foresee moving on. So it's coming with, the book comes with me. That's just how it goes. Let's see, what else do we have in the jaws of whatever. Lately I've been called back to working with runes. This is an awfully big rune bag. It was repurposed from something else. But yeah, this is my favorite rune set. It is made from, I think it's ruby zoisite. It's just gorgeous, and I really love it. It's the colors. I don't know how well the colors are coming across here. I think they're okay. They're pretty true to color, or yeah. But it's so pretty. You can see like there's ruby colors in there. It's just gorgeous. I really love it. I love the material and so on. It is a bit heavy. I will say that. But again, this is a bag that sits next to me under the desk at work, or on the desk at work, or in the drawer at work, and I just go back and pull things out of it that I need. So I've been pulling like one a day when I get to work. What else do we have? Yeah, we've got, oh yeah, my tarot in a tin, my little Tarot de Maria Celia goes in here. Wonderful little tarot. Sometimes nothing beats a TDM, and this one of all of the TDMs that I have, this one reads, I'm just trying to figure, I'm not used to doing this angle. This one reads best, and it is just such a pretty, beautiful little deck. I mean, that is just gorgeous. If you're going to get swords, they may as well be so pretty that you don't mind looking at them, right? Yeah. And it's one that I edged, years ago when I first got it. This has been shuffled and everything else and used heavily, and it's still in great condition. It reads like a dream, as I said. And yeah, I absolutely love it. So it also comes with me to work because, again, as I said, sometimes you just can't beat the straightforward nature of working with the Marseille. I never use a guidebook with a TDM. I just go with it. And so there are moments where that's really appropriate, and that's what I like. So this is a bag some of you who have been around for a long time will have seen before. This used to be the Divination Pack, the Everyday Carry Divination. Put it in here and then put it in the handbag bag. And it still kind of is. It's just I haven't gotten around yet. Ari, are you okay? He misses his mommies. So while his mommies are away doing training, he is very sad. And he also probably is wanting me to do something. I'm just going to check on him real quick. Okay, so yeah, this one has been around for quite a while. I still love it. It is leather, and in here, I have, I don't know why I made those noises. I still have the destroyed Dondorf in its destroyed box. I don't know why I find that funny, but then when I read for clients and I pull this out, it is really funny. I do sometimes see a client at the end of the day or the middle of the day or something if we have a space for it, either virtually or in the office, more likely in the office. We'll just have a patient that says, hey, do you have time to read for me today, etc. It is the most beautiful Lenormand, and I do love it. Sometimes there's also nothing that beats a Lenormand when you're reading, right? But this I love because it was the original deck from which it was, the facsimile copies were made, is, well, it was destroyed. As you can see, it was written all over and ink got spilled. There's one that has tape on it. There's one that has a coffee stain. And I absolutely freaking love it. It is my favorite go-to Lenormand, and it's telling me it's mad at me because I haven't been playing with it recently. But yeah, there are just some things for which you cannot beat the use of a Lenormand. So, we've got that. And I think it's got 2 gentlemen and 2 ladies, and I keep them all in there in the event that I need them, because I do read. It is not participating in diversity, but it's also extremely old. But I do often need to read for gay couples and queer couples. Although I don't usually read Lenormand for gay and queer couples, interestingly. I don't know why. That just doesn't seem to be one that comes up. So, yeah, there we go. What else? What else? What's the... Oh, yes. This is my Crohn's Bones. This is for the yes, no answers. For those of you, again, who haven't... Some of you won't have seen this for a long time. Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one. It's a an oldie but a goodie. So these are deer bones. I got these years ago, probably in 2019, I want to say, for yes, no answers, because nothing works. A few things I've ever encountered work better. I will say that for myself or with serious matters, I have a whole different system that I go to. I use moon blocks, but these are great. You toss the bones. This side reads yes. Whoops. The other side reads no. And if you get a straight line across, it's a maybe. And so you get different levels of intensity of your yes, no, maybe, etc. And then this is a little, I think it's quartz. It's either quartz or honey calcite. And if you can see at the very back, it is, you can kind of see, yeah, boop, there's light coming through, because it is also a hagstone. So I keep this one in here to keep this set kind of energized. I can feel that they're getting a little stagnant. They need some, oh, God, they smell good. I've rubbed them with so many oils over the years, but they do need a little freshen up and a charge. I'm going to make the rest of this as succinct as I can because somebody wants to whine in the other room, and it is really hard to listen to. He does it not to be annoying, but because, again, he's just pining. There's an extra spread cloth in here, and I'm just going to go really quick and pick him up. He was trying to get his brother, he was crying because his brother wouldn't play with him. What can you do? All right, so this little pouch, which my mom and dad brought home to me from somewhere in France, but it's also kind of medieval. It's based on a tapestry at a castle, maybe, I don't remember where anyway, doesn't matter. I have pendulums in here, which I don't use as much as I used to, but I mostly use them in the healing work that I do when I'm dowsing on someone's energy field. But yeah, here's a little one. The brass ones have become my go-to pendulums. I do dowsing like with charts and stuff as well, but it hasn't been as much a part of my practice of late. One of our massage therapists in the office is a dowser, like a hardcore dowser. And so we did start to learn to use these types of pendulums because they don't hold on to negative energy. They just don't pick anything up. And the brass just works. It does work really well. It works sometimes even better. This is the one she gave us. Look at this. This is obscene. She gave us this one because you can do positive dowsing and clearing with it. I will say it generates a lot of energy. When I'm working with older people and doing energy work on them, and I can't, through regular energy work, if we're often time crunched, if I cannot spend enough time with them to get the energy field recharged and moving, I will pull out this one and use it by, you literally just begin spinning it deliberately, and then I wait until it dies down on its own, and you really can feel it. It's intense, in order to just get that field activated, right? Because sometimes with in old arthritic joints, that is just a very difficult thing to do. And I really don't get a full hour with our patients. I get more like, we get 20 minutes, maybe 30, sometimes 40 if we're fortunate. But usually, again, the elder patients who really need the time frequently will not book it for themselves, even though they have finances to do so. I don't quite understand that. I think it's probably generational. But yeah, that's a good one. I also I've used it on clients, grief and doula clients before. Usually not the person who's immediately about to pass away though. This is a feather. I'm really bad about this. I pick up feathers everywhere. I found this one, I think it was from the day of Adele's funeral. And it was just such a nice feather. It's not quite so nice at the moment, but it will be if I wash it. And it was just significant. So anyway, came at a significant moment. And then finally, this is the last thing in here. Although I do usually have some, do I have them in here? I wonder, I better check. I do not. I usually have essential oils in here, several types of essential oils, and I don't seem to have those today. I don't know where they've gone. There's been a lot of shuffling, and I do pull things in and out of this bag all the time. I should show you what I'm actually doing here. So this is a bag I made myself a long time ago. I want to say like 10 or 15, about 10 years ago, probably a little around 10 years, 10, 12 years ago. Sometime between 2012 and 2014. And in it, oh, what was that? Oh, I know what that is. That was wrapped around the incense. And I keep those and I use them to stitch things. This is a bunch of sacred texts. And sometimes I also include, as I have here, an oracle card, which, always from this particular deck. It's the Laura Shanti deck, and it's the lion-headed Dakini. I can't really put her practice in here, but I can keep her energy and her image in here, and in many ways it operates the same way. But I've got a lot of different, some of them have been handwritten, the Great Compassion Dharani. This is from when I was still practicing Korean Buddhism. I've got several prayers. I've got the Chud text in here. There's a lot to be said for just having those texts with you. And then, of course, completely indispensable, is the little small carry size text of the Lasang ceremony. Again, that Nancy gave me a couple of years ago when I really, really needed it. And it is, again, really indispensable, even if I've never done a long one. Most often I will do the medium length one. There are 3. There's a short, and then, like the short Lasang, and then there's like a medium length one, and then a longer one, an invocation and a longer, but yes, it's there. So I was going to tell you this earlier and I didn't. So I've done of late, I've needed to go in and help people. I have been asked several times lately to help with various different problems and issues that patients have been having. So in one case, the issue was well, they're various. I mean, they usually start with, I think my house is haunted, or I think I'm haunted, or I think I have a spirit attachment, and you can fill in the rest. So really, all I do is offer practices that I already do. I engage a little bit of my own, just a little bit of like psychic intuition and so on into the situation to get a sense of what is likely happening, and then I go from there. And really, it's amazingly, I have been able to help some of these patients with issues using either helping them clear their home through a la sang, which works beautifully if the issue is really simple. I've also used a chud, which again is very, very compassionate and loving and helpful to everyone involved, and does a lot of energy clearing as well. Draws in a lot of really loving and compassionate energy. And also, what's the other? Oh, feeding your demons worked really well with the person who felt that and I think they probably did, have a spirit attachment. If you remove the Velcro inside of you that is allowing that spirit to attach, right? Instead of needing to then banish the spirit, they become starved, right? They cannot attach when there's nothing to attach to. So it frees both, because the spirit is no longer in that way troublesome because of it feeling demonic in some way. It is in that sense. It is not a literal demon, but in that sense, it can be experienced as a sort of as a in quotes demon, because it feels like a major block. And in my tradition, the tradition I practice, a demon is something that blocks you. It is not a literal demon. It is something that is blocking you. And it's usually coming from inside of you. And that's something that needs to be cleared. And the presence of someone else or something else is usually just a way of it being brought to your attention that you're ready to let go of something. And it's ready to be let go of. Because there's no longer an energetic match there on some level. So if that makes any sense. So all of that just to say, like, that's what the Divination Bag has become at this point. There is still space in there, and it often does get filled with other decks. So at the moment, I'm also, let's see, since I've got quiet here and I can afford to do this, I've also got space for this guy, and for this guy. So all of these decks fit in there for travel. Isn't that something? And there will be, I just filmed them because I'm doggy sitting, so I've had a lot of time of just sitting in the house and hanging out, and it's really nice. It's such a relief. But I'll be able to, upload these soon. I'll probably put this one up first, but yeah, walkthroughs and so forth of this is the Francois Gasman 1840, and the Science Tarot, which is upside down in the box. There we go. That's what it really looks like. So yeah, that's coming up. And at the moment, my daily practice is working with, because I'm in a state of grief, it's the Death Doula Oracle and the Dream Dust Shamanic Tarot. And these two work so beautifully together. And these are still the cards from yesterday morning. I got the 3 of Fire, the 4 of Wind, and the 10 of Fire. So this would be the 3 of Wands, the 4 of Swords, and the 10 of Wands. And the message overall was just like, girl, you need to chill out. If you're going to do something active, you may need to spend some time thinking about the future, contemplating what the next move is, but otherwise you really need to put it all down and take a rest. And then I pulled a Death Doula card, and I got Serenity, which again is about like, you need to take a rest, so slow down and take a rest. And so that's really for the most part what I did yesterday. Yeah. So yeah, so these are these are kind of really helpful. They were also predictive of just how I was going to feel about all kinds of things. So I think that's it. But yeah, that's my go-to, and that's my go-to bag. That's my everyday carry stuff. So fun times, and you know, I'll see you again soon. Take care, everyone. Bye.